Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray, and thank you for watching. You ever recorded an entire video and then realized you didn't plug in the microphone correctly to your phone, so you lost all the audio? Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Not to mention, I didn't really enjoy this episode of Ray Zero, so it's going to be one of those reviews today. So Ray Zero Season 2, Episode 20, or Ray Zero Season 2, Part 2, Episode 17. Or 7, rather. I believe we have 6 episodes left at this point. We're getting a full 13 episodes this season for a total of 26 for Season 2. So, a lot of talking in this episode. Yes, we got some background on Roswaal, Beatrice, Ruziu. We learned how Ruziu became the barrier, activated the crystal, that was made by Echidna, or I'm guessing she made the crystal. She's a witch. She can make whatever she wants, to our knowledge. And she sacrificed herself. Her and Beatrice became really good friends throughout the past couple of episodes that we saw. And there was some new witch dude whose name I need to pull up here. And while I'm doing that, but let's go to the beginning of the episode. So we get to see Echidna kiss Roswaal, because he is a magic user, and she literally sucked the mana out of him. It was kind of gross because he threw up first, and then he wiped his mouth, and then she kissed him. There's like this kind of disgusting line of spit. The animators went a little bit too hard. They've gone too hard before in a good way. They went too hard in a bad way. Maybe some people are into that spit. That's kind of gross. Drooly vomit spit is where we're at with that. But the reason they're making the sanctuary is to protect her from, her enemies. I think it's more her enemies, protect the people she cares about, quote unquote, is the best way to describe that. And apparently protect from other witches. I don't know if this barrier has the ability to keep out other witches, because we saw Stelia in there before. In the previous part of the season. Definitely got a lot more action last season as well. It hasn't been a lot of action the second half of the second season. I feel like this whole season has been kind of downward sloping, where I progressively dislike the anime more and more as this part of Season 2 comes on. Because Emilia, we finally see her walk out of Sanctuary, so yes, technically now she finally completed the first freaking trial. It's a miracle, holy Jeebus. It's ridiculous, because we have 6 episodes left, and if it took this long for her to complete the first trial, and we learned what happened during the second trial with Subaru as well, how long is it going to take her to complete the other 2? Is it going to be another 6 seasons before we finally complete this arc of the freaking show that I am so over with at this point? I'll be honest with you. I did not really like this episode at all. I hate to say I don't care about Roswaal's backstory that much. I feel like we got some of it, but this part of his backstory anyway, I really didn't care about. I more care about what happens after Echidna died, to when he met Emilia, what led up to those events. And now we have like 42 different subplots going on at the same time. We have Roswaal hiring assassins to kill everybody. We have the Great Rabbit, which we have no idea where it is. There's a serpent that we have no idea where it is. Pandora came out of nowhere this season, so now we have another antagonist. And then we got another witch, who they call him the Devil. His name is Hector. I think he's either a witch or an archbishop. We don't really know much information about him. He seems very powerful. He beat the crap out of Roswaal in like half a second. Roswaal like 400 years ago or something, 100 years ago. And it wasn't really that hard for him to beat the crap out of him. And, I think we're going to hopefully see epic witch fight next episode. Maybe redeem yourself a little bit at this point, Ray Zero, because I just feel like there's so much going on. Like, it's not bad. Nothing about it is generally bad, but it's just feel like it's getting dragged out. And there's too much going on in too little of a span, which is why we're getting all of these 29-minute episodes. It makes sense, because you got to cram so much information in there, and there's only so much time. So, it's probably a commercial-less episode when it airs in Japan, is my guess, being 29 minutes long. We didn't get an introduction, but we did get an outro, which I will throw up a picture of part of that at one point in the video. So that was kind of neat. Got a little bit of an outro. No preview for next episode as per usual. I'm hoping what's going to happen is there's just going to be epic witch fight. We'll get to see Beatrice, heal Roswaal. And then Ruziu is probably going to get the start of the episode of her going into the crystal, creating the barrier. Maybe that kicks this Hector dude out of the barrier. We don't really know if it does or doesn't. We don't know why Hector is trying to stop Echidna from doing it. We don't have that information at this point in time, and I'm sure we'll get some of that next episode. So meanwhile, then it kind of cuts away to Subaru talking to Roswaal, calling off everything, and Roswaal basically explaining that they're the same person, which we already kind of knew anyway. It was heavily implied, because Subaru is doing everything for the woman he loves, and Roswaal is still doing everything for the woman that he loves as well, even though she is dead at this point in time. So Roswaal is not giving up. He is not, calling off the assassins at this point in time. He still wants to see how Subaru, plans everything out. Hopefully, Amelia can break the barrier very quickly, because we've been 7 episodes deep, and it's supposed to be the span of 2 or 3 weeks, and it feels like it's been 2 days. And I don't know if that's true or not, but, I got a lot of enjoyment when there was a 30-episode arc of Goku and Frieza beating the crap out of each other because there was action. I think it's the heavy dialogue that just bores me. After a certain amount of time, you got to do it in increments. You can do a decent amount of dialogue, throw a little bit of action in there, a little bit of surprise, or something along those lines in the show, but that's not happening in this episode. And maybe that's why I like the past couple episodes better, where there's a little bit more action, where we had Fortuna in there, and Amelia's the Lark within the season as well. But she still has 2 trials to beat, so who knows? Maybe she'll beat the second trial in the next 6 episodes, and then we're left with a cliffhanger for another year until we get a season 3, which is going to get delayed 7 times too, probably, with the whole situation that is happening at this point in time. But it is what it is. I didn't really like this episode. 6 out of 10. I just don't. I hate to say I don't care about a lot of the stuff that happened in this episode, but I don't. I felt like we got more plot points introduced, which we did not need. We're getting nowhere with bringing, Miss Blue-haired Beauty back to life at this point in time. Rem, we need to see her again. So that there's we need to get Rem back. We need to deal with the assassins. Now we need to deal with Pandora. We need to deal with Greed. We need to deal with Gluttony. We need to deal with this new Hector dude. We need to deal with Stelia. What else? Oh, Amelia needs to become the queen. Let's see. Subaru needs to get stronger so we can actually do stuff. So there's 9 different plot points going on at the same time, and it's just getting really, really, really ridiculous. And it's kind of weird because it's almost Game of Thrones like, if you will, where that one character was rowing his boat for 8 seasons. That's what's going to happen with Greed, Gluttony, and probably Rem. Maybe we'll see her in season 3. I highly, highly doubt it. She's probably just going to be non-existent for the next season or 2. Maybe season 4. That's my guess, is Best Girl will come back season 4 for some interesting reason, but I don't foresee her coming back anytime soon. I know that's what a lot of fans wanted to see. It was oh crap, this is what happened to her. We need to get her back ASAP, and it doesn't seem like we're any closer to that, any closer to freeing the barrier, any closer to executing Subaru's plan. And it's like we're at a giant kind of draw stalemate at the moment, and it's just annoying me so very much. So very much. 6 out of 10 this episode. Did not care for it whatsoever. Wasn't terrible, so I'm not going to completely destroy it. But it just felt very long, very drawn out, very mundane. I wasn't particularly a fan of this episode at all. Hopefully we get some action next week and I get a pick-me-up. I'm really looking forward to Dr. Stone and Jujutsu Kaisen this week, so and Promised Neverland too. But more Dr. Stone and Jujutsu Kaisen are the 2 that I'm looking forward to next week. So take a look tomorrow. The Dr. Stone review will be out. And you got Promised Neverland on Friday, Jujutsu Kaisen on Saturday, and Yashahime, which is probably going to be another disappointment this week on Saturday because it looks like it's another filler episode when we're so close to the end of that season. Doesn't really make sense to me, but you got to work with what you got. So, is what it is. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like, feel free to comment down below what you would like me to do for future anime and cartoon related videos. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.